Okay.
I read all of them at some point. I just forgot like half of them.
All right. If there's anything else you want to add, feel free. This is your second album this year.
Mm-hmm.
Your first being Control.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like a lot of work to put out 2 albums in 1 year. Did you feel strained by that? Did you take anything specific away from the first album that inspired the new one?
It would have been a lot of work if I had anything other to do than school and music, because I believe for the first one, for Control, I had like, I don't remember, something on my schedule, but like this whole summer and this whole start of the school year, all I've had is music, basically. So I get to lock in and just only produce music and do what I like.
And anything from the first album that you learned or took away that you applied to the second one?
I wouldn't say necessarily learned, but used. I wanted to do something like based on a story, and I did that for the first one, and then I decided that now that I've done that, I need to simmer down from that idea and get a new one. So I didn't necessarily learn anything, but definitely the first one helped the second one.
Why did you choose the title Birds for this album?
It was Bird, by the way. Just Bird.
Bird. For this album.
Whatever. I picked it, I think the first time I heard it was there's a song by Tyler, the Creator, called Find Your Wings, and I liked that one. And I thought the idea would be being more egotistical than the last one, and so I feel like I got to represent myself better, or give myself a better case than the last album.
Could you tell me a bit about the lyrics on this album and what influenced you to write them? For example, are they based on real life events or more products of your imagination?
These were more real, I think, than the last ones, because I think on Ego specifically, I said, you play my music in the class, wish I was gone. And everyone I know in my school knows that I do music. Mm-hmm. And at some point, I think this was even before the first album, I told them about it, and they played like my worst song, literally what I would say is my worst song, and I did not want to be there, and so I thought about that and put it in the song as sort of an evolution into Ego, because that is the opposite of the point of this album, is that this is something I would be proud to play in front of people.
Being a self-taught musician and producer, could you tell me some essential tools or techniques you use when creating music?
I wouldn't say I was self-taught. It doesn't, or in ways that you would not be able to tell, it translates to have many years of experience in like instruments, drumming and piano, to understand rhythm and melody. And also I'd say listen to a lot of music would be my idea, because I had to realize at the end of the EP that just saying rhymes that mean stuff, like emulating what I hear and just saying a simile doesn't really count. Mm-hmm. But still, I think it leads you into better writing and producing, to just listen and listen and listen.
You also collaborated with people.
Not on the second one yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How come?
To be honest, I was very impatient with this one. I released it, I think, 2 days after I finished it, and I just wanted to get something out there. I think that's my biggest weakness, is that I'm too impatient. And so I just kind of didn't wait for anyone. Mm-hmm. I'm still talking to a bunch of people, so at some point I'll probably put out a remix or something like I did with the first one with Convo. I would do something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, but there are none on it just because I wanted to put something out.
You're a good singer,
Thank you.
but this is the first time you leaned into singing, melodic singing and vocals on a release. Tell me about that.
I think at some point I had like 4 or 5 songs done, and I realized these not all sounded the same, but all had the same sort of vibe of, like I was saying, egotistical. I wouldn't say stereotypical, but classic sort of hip hop songs. And I decided I wanted to do something else on here because I didn't want it to get boring, and because I've done almost all of the things that I've done outside of QC music have been much more melodic and less hip-hop based. I tried to put that into QC music instead to give you a little bit of a break. The song-long bridge, as I would call it.
Do you start with an album concept or write a few songs and then feel like they're going to belong in a group on an album?
This is my phone recording, but if it wasn't, I would show you my notes app, and for Control, I had all of the songs written out before I had 2 of them done. And I had title, I even knew who was featuring, and I wrote down all the stuff that would happen because it was story-based. But for this one, I thought about, hi, that's my dog, that I could alter these songs that I already have, and add a bunch more. Like I got a little glimpse in like 2 or 3 lines. It was like, this could be a whole thing, and extended it, basically, is what I did.
What was the first song you knew was going to be on the album?
I don't remember. Ooh, actually I do remember. Ego and Ego Death I produced almost at the exact same time. Like one after another. And I still think those are my best produced songs so far. And they always had sort of a twin mentality to me. I always knew they would be 2 opposing sides. So I knew those 2 would have to at least be together on an album, not necessarily this sort of concept of an album, but I think those were the first 2 that I knew would have to be on a bigger project.
How do you want people to feel after listening to your album?
I want them with the first album, I wanted people to sort of be an emotional roller coaster through the whole thing. But in this album, I wanted people at the end to be like, wow, that was good music.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to make and release their own music?
I would say probably learn to produce first, which I did not know how to do. A special piece of QC music lore. The first song I did, Middleman, which was like 1 minute and 30 seconds, was created by the BandLab AI song starter thing. And I was so afraid to tell people because I don't like AI now and I barely knew what it was. I don't remember how old I was. 11. I was 11. So I just sort of went like, make me something, and then I changed around a few of the instruments. And then after that, you can tell there was a plummet in my production, like, instrumental quality. So I would say produce first and maybe even just release your instrumentals if you aren't great at writing first.
Cool. So far your work has been mainly on the studio side. Do you have any desire to perform live?
I have so much desire to perform live. Definitely, I want to do that. I've been thinking about it for a long time. But the problem is, I am, as you said, a studio artist. So because I didn't start live, I don't have like a DC audience. I just have a world audience. And if I had all of that audience in my neighborhood, I would probably be able to pull together a show. But because it's so hard to physically get people together, I would probably have to join something else, like sort of going into a restaurant and performing. But then that's the problem, because only a few of my songs I feel like could count as background noise, and without just those songs, or with just those songs, I would need to also have a stage presence, but no one's paying attention to my stage presence because they're trying to eat a dinner or something. So what I would do, what I might want to do is I would find some sort of competition or collaboration of people and try to get in on that. Like, everyone has an audience, but I only get an audience for a short time. I would try to do something like that.
Cool. Anything else that you want to tell people about this album or about QC Music?
This was the first one where I hired someone, or not hired, I did not produce one of the tracks. A lot of them have been, like I said before, I should have probably learned producing first, so a lot of these were, I've noticed, more and more reliant on things that I didn't make, samples or loops. And I think I'm going to take a while to learn how to produce better before I come back. But this was the first album where I did not produce one of the tracks, and that was Making a Living, and David Frick, or Frick Made It, everywhere else made it. And I saw it on, I believe, YouTube Shorts for making a beat for A$AP Rocky. As you can tell, I am not A$AP Rocky, but I'm going to try to not rely on that much. Other people producing, and even try not to rely on things that I did not make in the future. So, QC Music, promise. And, by the way, I'm gonna add this in editing, I bet, but the second part of Scheming / I Am Angry, I'm just gonna put this in editing. It has the craziest sample of all time.
You got your mind out here. You were just fine out here. My God is love.
So, if I do keep sampling, it'll be like that.
What's next for QC Music?
Like I said, more production-based things, probably. And I'm probably going to come back with a more cohesive story.
Are you looking to produce music by other people?
Probably not. I would like to do my own writing. I might, though, in the future, produce for other people. Like, if I send someone a beat and they're like, I want this just for me, I might do that instead. So, check for that also as well.
Cool. Anything else you want to say about the album?
I think that's it.
Okay.